Hi guys, it's Kimberly. Welcome back. This is your weekly Messages from the Masters series. I don't know really what I'm going to do today. There are just tons of messages coming through this morning, and I feel really connected right now to. There's a couple of the archangels here. Um, they're saying Uriel and Gabriel are with me, and I just want to deliver the messages to you. It may be that I jump around a little bit from decks, from automatic writing. I'm not sure. So I hope you enjoyed this. Take what resonates for you. This is for twin flames and those along the awakening journey and the ascension journey. I particularly feel called to twin flames today because I felt like the messages coming through this morning were for twins. So there's something so interesting too going on with this playing deck. I don't know what it is. I wish I could tell you why they keep telling me to use it recently, but even today they told me to take this out. So I will just put it aside, see if we get called to use it. All right, so like I said, I don't really start these with any set intention. I've had lots of messages coming through this morning. Sometimes before these sessions, I get personal messages, I get collective messages. But when I set up the camera, I put the intention for the collective, and sometimes doing the writing helps first, but I really just feel like at this point, we are supposed to just kind of delve into the cards and just see. So I'm going to the Ascended Masters card first, and they're talking about fertility. So this makes a lot of sense to me because I've been feeling like, especially the feminine has something that she's got to get back to. It's like the next level or the next layer of her creative project. Or her entrepreneurial project or her venture, or there's something, and it feels like it's lucrative. It feels like it's the next phase. It's yet to be developed to this level yet. Something new is coming through, some new inspiration, some new ideas. It's like an old idea. It's something that you've already started working on, but I do feel like you're building upon it now, and now you're turning it into this green, lush thing, like you're bringing it into life, into physical form. You've got to work on it between now and July, okay? That's what they've been pushing the feminine to do. I think April was a time of a little bit of wonky energy, and maybe over the last few months we've lost our focus a little bit from what we started working on it earlier in the year. They're saying work on it again. Dedicate yourself, regiment yourself, which is, what came across in my New Moon in Taurus video. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to watch it yet, but, grounding that. There's a book called The War of Art, and it's written by Stephen Pressfield. I don't know if you all are familiar with it, but I love it. It's great for writers or anyone creative, anyone that wants to do anything creative, bring anything into life, and maybe they're struggling with the blocks, the excuses, whatever that is. He really just breaks it down, and it's just awesome. And one of the things he says is like, we have to show, if you're going to write something or if you're going to create something, you got to show up every day as the artist. You're going to show up every day as the writer. And that's how I feel. I feel like this is about not trying to like break off, like not taking one big bite out of it, but really just small bites every day, small little steps every day is going to create this beautiful landscape. And I do feel like some of you are sitting on a very lush like project or business or new idea that could bring you a new stream of revenue, like this water and this like green lush. It's like, it feels like fulfillment. It feels like something that was like a more narrow idea is now widening and expanding. It's broadening, it's flowering, And that feels really good. So it's, this could be for masculine too. Like, it's not only the feminine, but I definitely get the message that the feminine, you were focused on something earlier in the year, and it's meant to bloom over the next few months, and it's up to you to nurture it and put your focus back on it. And also it feels like I said, it's like the next level of it. It's some piece or aspect of it. It's not like really a tributary, it's like it's like the idea widening is getting bigger, the idea. And it's like some offshoot of what you've already been working on. Okay? Does that make sense? I also get that this can be literal fertility. Like, some of you, I have been getting the message, are going to be like getting pregnant or bringing babies into the picture over the next like 6 to 12 months. So this could be because you're meeting your divine partner, because you're reuniting with your twin flames. So that's another aspect of this card. For some of you, you might find that hard to believe. You might go, yeah, I'd like that, but I can't imagine that. And they're saying, well, some of you it's happening for almost like unexpectedly. So let's just go. They said they told me one card from the Archangels and the Ascended Masters. So sorry, you guys, I'm still sniffling. I think it's just a little bit of allergies. But celery juice definitely has kicked anything else that I was fighting before. So it's kind of the miracle juice. So next week, I want to tell you, on Mother's Day, or I think it's Sunday, May 12th, at some point in the day, I will post, there's going to be sort of like a dual reading between myself and a collaborator who is now becoming a dear friend of mine and just an amazingly talented person. I will introduce her, her beautiful soul in next week's reading. And we're going to do sort of like an interview, but also play off of each other in a reading. So I think you guys will love that. And I'm excited to share it with you. Okay, so everything is in divine order. This is like reminding you of that. And I feel like this is particularly for twins. Like, this is just for those of you who, which I think is everybody at some point or another, where you get really hung up on the 3D, how it looks in the 3D. And for those of you who don't know, I just recently released an audio meditation pack that you can purchase on my website. It's only $11.11, and it includes a cord cutting, energetic clearing meditation, as well as a 5D connection tool for your twin flame. The interesting thing about connecting with your twin flames in the 5D is that you're not really going to get all the fears and all the drama and all the stuff that's playing out in the 3D isn't going to be an issue at that level. There might be some of those things that are like discussed or exchanged, like made peace with or forgiven, or maybe some light that's shed on it. But usually those 5D conversations, whether they're like in pictures or in words, they're much more at a higher level. It's almost as if you're communicating with someone who has passed on. It's a much higher level communication, so you're going to get more of the love that comes through. And so when you do this, so if you do that 5D meditation that I have, and those types of messages come through for you, and you're like, wait, this is incongruent with what's happening in the 3D. And the 3D, my twin is a jerk and an asshole and abusive and a narcissist, or whatever you're thinking. And the truth is that this is sort of helping you transcend and rise above that 3D illusion. And we don't go into the 5D so that we can hang on to the potential of someone. it's not a tool for attachment, is what I feel like I need to deliver to everybody. It's a tool for releasing. It's a tool for understanding. It's a tool for rising above. It's a tool for heightening our own understanding and for releasing, to clear the blocks in our way, to release the attachment. So be careful how you're using it. Understand that you're receiving like the higher message of divine order, the soul self message from your divine counterpart. And if you're feeling like things aren't congruent, you could be receiving contradictory messages, like what's happening in the 3D does not match what you know from the 5D or what you're receiving in the 5D. You just have to trust, not hang on and attach to the 5D. That's not what those communications and that information is for. It's just to help us like clear the space, release the attachment so we can move forward in the 3D. And if you have that higher knowing, you just take that higher knowing with you and you don't let it stop or slow you down or hold you back. You just keep moving forward. Okay, so I hope that helps some of you. We'll look at the bottom of these decks at the end. Okay, I feel guided to do that at the end. There's messages that they're saying are very, very important at the bottom of each of these decks. So now they want us to pull a little spread. They just told me 3 across each deck, sort of like, not really past, present, and future, but more like what we've been struggling with, what we're working on, and what the outcome is. Okay, so So I'll read these to you in just a moment. I just want them to all kind of fall into place because as I'm placing them, I'm getting like a story with them. So just give me a moment. We'll look at all the bottoms of the decks at the end because they're saying there's almost like a wow factor at the bottom. There's some sort of a solidifier, validator, wow factor. So it's kind of interesting. Whoops, sorry guys. All right, you guys. Oh, and I looked. I looked. I have to take their heed. Okay. So I said this is sort of like, what we've been working on. What we've sort of been like struggling with, what we're working on, and then the outcome. So they're showing me the new life. So I feel like it's coming up in reverse. Okay, so it's coming up like this, and this is the Divine Mother. And again, we get that feeling of pregnancy or gestation or birth, just like this fertility. And I feel like this is where we're struggling to like move forward with our creative projects or to move forward in that new life. Like we've like I said, it's like many of you started creating it back in January, but like it's been almost like put on hold because we had so much clearing and purging to do. And this is being reaffirmed by this healing card, which is that spiral is all about the shadow work and the inner child. And I think in order to birth this new project or this new life, we've had to integrate our shadow, and that's what we've been working on. Maybe that's what slowed us down over the past few months, and that's okay because we needed to do that. Okay. They're saying like to the sea. So whatever residuals we have from that work that we did, from the purging, from the bringing the stuff up underneath the surface, we need now to bring it to the sea and wash it away. And remember, I've been telling you, like the angels and the guides have been telling me, like water is the best vibration that we can calibrate to. It's the purest. It holds the vibration of unconditional love. It's a great tool for attuning our vibration to unconditional love, but it's also wonderful for washing away the emotional stuff. They're almost saying like you could do a bath ritual, and they're showing me like a loofah and like a scrub, and you have to like imagine that like as you're scrubbing your body, not with force or anything, but like in a gentle, nurturing way, that you're also getting off like any of the impurities or toxins, anything that you've brought up to the surface. You know, one thing I've learned is that like your skin is like definitely the vehicle for excretion of toxins from the body. So when you're going through any sort of a cleanse or purification process, you're going to see things leaving through your skin. And I feel like just as that happens, we also do that emotionally at some level, like where it leaves through our skin and our physical body. And even if you just do this in a metaphoric sense or a symbolic sense, it's going to help you sort of wash it away and feel refreshed. You might want to take a bath. You might want to take like one of those shower scrubs. You might want to go to the ocean, or, you know, somehow put yourself in water and just imagine yourself washing all of those emotions away and attuning to the vibration of unconditional love. And we're getting renewal. I think these are all in reverse except for the healing. And the renewal, this is what's been blocking our renewal, is just like this need to go deeper. And many of you have done that recently. If you haven't, if you've been resisting it, go to it. This is the integration of our shadow. And that has been the only thing that's been slowing down this new life coming into focus and this birthing of our new projects, new life, new landscape. And that renewal it's huge. It's a renewal also of our life force energy. So that's where we've been held back because there's been stuff under the surface weighing us down. Now that it's up, they want us to splash water all over it and just like wash it away. It's part of us now. We've integrated, like wash away the residuals and get cleansed, get purified, get ready to move forward. Okay. So, you know, we're working through this exhaustion. This is the exhaustion. This makes a lot of sense to me because this has been a feeling off and on, dips of energy, you know, definitely a dip in our life force energy. And that has been because of the under the surface stuff. And they're seeing that it is like, for some of you, it's because you feel like something's unfinished, and it's because it is, but the problem is like there's not going to be, when we try to extract a conclusion, like we need to know what the outcome is with our twin flame, or we need to finish it right now. And like the truth is it's not time. Like we're being allowed space. You're being given space to heal. You're giving the other person space to do their healing and their alignment, and you're allowing them to be who they are. And when it's time to harmonize again, you will. Or when it's time to have the closure, you will. But I think we spend so much time trying to extract that closure or feeling like it shouldn't have gone that way that we end up exhausting ourselves. But when we let go of that and we just allow it to be an unfinished symphony, like we just allow it to be, and we attune to the music of our soul, we find our unique identity, we find our unique song, and we begin singing that from within. That's what magnetizes all of the like the completion that we're craving. That's what magnifies like all of the wholeness and the completion, all the things that we were sort of chasing after in trying to close up this unfinished symphony and find the ending. It's almost like all that comes to us in a more beautiful way when we just attune to our own vibration and our own song, our own unique song and path, and stop looking at what's not finished with this like other person. That's what exhausts us. Okay, that's the exhaustion energy. It's also anything like under the surface that we're not dealing with like that maybe we've denied ourselves, that could also be unfinished. And that's the stuff that could weigh on us as well and like pull at our life force energy. If you guys hear kitties in the background, it's because my kitties it's early in the morning. They're like ready for their treats. They're ready to play. They're begging. They're begging. Okay, so we have formation. And I feel like this is the formation. It's our transformation. We see the butterflies here. This is the formation of our authentic self, of a new identity. And it's been held back by our attachment with another person or the contingency on a situation. They're saying, go now and form this person, this new identity, this more truthful identity. And that's going to come from exploring yourself, right? Exploring who you are, getting to know yourself again, letting that authenticity shine through. This is about adventure, wandering, journey. This is like exploring your passions. It's exploring like who you are again. And oftentimes in this ascension journey, we lose sight of that. And especially if you're in a twin flame connection and you get hung up on the other person. This is about rediscovering yourself. That's part of alignment. So once you've done this shadow work, your only work to do is to bring that awareness forward from like the ownership of your pain and the awareness of what you've gone through, where it stems from, and then begin to form that new identity that is in alignment with your integrity, where you're redefining your values, your morals, where you're discovering who you are and what your passions are. And maybe there's some big changes that come in this formation. Maybe you're saying, I don't want to live in this place anymore, or my style or the way I look is different, or there's transformation happening, and that's being shown to you through exploration of who you truly are, of your truth, and allowing yourself to explore and allowing yourself to do that. And in some ways, like, we're holding ourselves back by waiting on the other person or waiting on some ideal situation. And it's like, go now all the way into yourself is what they're saying. All the way into you. So the outcome is, I feel like they have restriction here. So they're saying the outcome is joy, but we have to unrestrict ourselves. This is where we have the ability to go into so much joy and to bring ourselves this joy, but we're sometimes getting caught in the mental mind, and that's locking us in the limitations of our mental thinking. But I feel like what they're saying is we have the potential to step into limitless joy when we allow ourselves to. I'm going to go here. The outcome is action, which I feel like is, coming up in reverse because we have been held back. Once there's this rediscovery, this reformation, transformation, and we allow ourselves to explore, and the passion card's coming up here in the outcome, exploring our passions, creative energy, that's going to set us on fire, where we're going to take inspired action. That's inspired action, okay? And then we have dependability, and we see this sort of like union card. And I feel like that's when you become reliant on yourself, okay? And when you become totally self-reliant, like you're aligned with your energy, your passions, you're not holding yourself back, you've stepped into that wholeness, that's when you can attract a dependable, equal partner and come together and harmonize in a union. So really important messages there, and very impactful, very spot on. I feel they're saying to pull some cards from the playing deck, and then we'll look at the bottom of the deck, the deck's messages. So the playing cards are like the tarot deck, but there's no major arcana except for the Joker card, which is the Fool. And so we just basically have the minor arcana, but we do have the number patterns, and I feel like the numbers, especially with the angels and ascended masters, are important. So we'll look at the card meanings, but we'll also look at the number sequence that comes up, because they're showing me it's going to be important. They're saying only pull 3 cards, so I'm going to flip them over at once. And I'm just going to call the numbers out to you, or it might be a face card too. So, okay. So we've got King, 3, and 9. So it's almost like 10, 3, and 9. So we've got the King of Clubs, which is like the King of Wands. We have the 3 of Hearts, which is like the 3 of Cups. And we have the 9 of Clubs, which is like the 9 of Wands. So, this feels like, it feels like the fruition of the new life. I also get that there is some sort of a male force for some of you that's going to come in as a helper to help you anchor in the physical, like the new physical landscape. For many of you, not for all of you, but for many of you, you actually have a male that's helping you with these creative projects, or with the new life. And it feels like someone who is good at getting things done and really good at like, he's entrepreneurial, he can get it done, he knows how to make things happen. There's some wisdom there, but it's also just like very, very earthly, practical, knows how to get it done type energy. That's for some of you, okay? For others of you, this is about just like the maturation into your ability to anchor it into the 3D. They're saying that this energy is about like, it's about this exploration. It's about just like celebrating yourself. And I really feel like it's the divine feminine coming forward within each of us, celebrating ourselves, leading with our intuition, especially for the feminine. It's gathering with other strong Empress types, those who are rooted in their true power. It's celebrating yourself. It's allowing yourself to have fun. And yeah, it's really important. The 9 of Wands is saying like you're almost there and you're going to achieve what you've set out to achieve. It's coming as a product of believing in yourself, I feel, and of doing things in a new way. Like, that's the product of this, is like unrestricting yourself and taking action from an inspired place and following your passions and coming into that wholeness. That's how we're gonna, pull this in all into reality, these things that we're dreaming of and desiring. Okay, so let's look at the bottom of the decks. So for the Ascended Masters deck, they have Twin Flame. See, I told you there was a wow factor here. Remember they said that? Okay, we can't make this up. So if you guys are seeing swans, I'm seeing swans everywhere. So this is a sign of like a soulmate connection, divine partnership. It's saying you're on the right path. But the Twin Flames, there's just like a knowing. There's a knowing for some of you that this connection is real. You know it. And you might not know exactly what it's for in this lifetime. And for each of you, it's something different. It's not always romantic partnership, but there is a knowing of this love. And I feel like this is the masculine knowing it so much at this time. Okay? This is what the Ascended Masters want us to know. They want us to know that the masculine is waking up to it. He knows it too. He actually knows it in his conscious mind. Whereas before he knew it deep, deep down or at a soul level, he knows it now. Okay, we can see There's sort of pink energy. It feels like summer, spring, which is what we're at in the northern hemisphere. This is the masculine's awakening, and it's also his conscious awakening is what it's symbolizing. Okay, so bottom of the Archangel's deck is creative writing. I love this because not only am I creative writing, but I've had so many clients recently where I'm like, I just feel like I'm saying all the time, like, oh, you're going to write a screenplay. Oh, you need to be writing. Like, it's just this whole thing around writing. A lot of people are writing right now, and that might be part of what your creative project is. This could be just the act of journaling, like your emotions and holding space for yourself and learning how to do that. But a lot of you, I feel like it's creative writing. It's channeling your experience into poetry, into plays or screenplays, or into books or novels, and it's telling your story. It's showing things from a higher perspective, or even a more ethereal perspective. And you guys are going to be working on these projects, like myself. Let's see. Bottom of the Sacred Earth Oracle deck is motion in reverse. And we did see this in the New Moon and Taurus reading. And it came up, I think, for the masculine. And I feel like it's this. Okay, it's this action right here. And that had come up in reverse too. So this is about, because see how the feminine is here? So this is about inspired action. This is about leading with our feminine to take action, because it takes our masculine yang energy, however you want to say it, to lead, to take the steps. But it is a dance or a co-creation with our feminine side, and they want us to take the inspired action. So notice when you're taking action, is it because you're forcing or willing things, or because you're doing it because you think it's on your own timeline, or it's something that you need to do or have to do or should do? Or is it because like you're just feeling the impulse and it's time to be in motion? I also feel like this is that renewal of our life force energy, where we're shedding the exhaustion and we're coming back into life force energy, you know, our true identity, letting go of the contingency on what isn't finished or what feels incomplete, and just moving forward to explore ourselves more fully, and that's creating more motion in our lives. And we have Judgment, and on the bottom of the Sonia Choquette, this is Ask Your Guides deck, and this is your higher self is coming through, asking you, I feel like, to unrestrict yourself. Like, this is all part of this. I feel like it's where you're holding yourself under the microscope, maybe being hard on yourself, limiting yourself. Part of this whole journey of formation, transformation, rediscovering ourselves is learning how to be kind to ourselves and allow ourselves to make mistakes, and allow ourselves to, this is a 46 card, which I feel like is the wholeness of like this 10, and it's allowing ourselves to become whole. That is not going to happen through stopping ourselves from doing something, from trying to be something else, from competing with others, from criticizing ourselves. It's more about shifting into our divine self and into our alignment, and that has to come with ease and with self-love and self-care and gentle nurturing. And so they're saying, like, don't take in the judgment of others or criticism of others as your own. Be careful where you're doing that. Soften with yourself, I feel, is the message. Because any place where you're being hard on yourself like that, that could also weigh down your energy, especially squash your life force energy. Okay, so, and there's the never-ending story, which does not surprise me that's coming up at the bottom of this deck, because this feels like that mental mind, you know, stuck on that story, the old story, the limiting story, that has that lock on us, and let's release that now, okay? Let's release that now. This is also 37, so that's also a 10. So it's like, in order to come into that wholeness completion, within ourselves, we've got to let this go. This is self-mastery. That's that 10. They're talking about self-mastery at this time. You might want to write down the stories, the limiting stories that you're telling yourself, and then look at them and see if you rewrote them in a more expansive way in which there was open-ended possibility, in which you were not coming from a place of fear. How would it sound? How would those same stories sound? So that's a really good exercise to do. We do that in my like Vibe Up courses. We do it in the intensive program with a little more structure, but you guys can kind of just try it loosely on your own. We have self-worth in reverse coming up at the bottom of this clarifier deck. So self-worth, and again, I feel like we're getting that expansion of like spreading our feathers, spreading our wings, showing our true beauty. You know, that's the peacock, just like showing its true beauty, showing off, magnetizing others. And in order to do that, we must get in contact with the song of our soul. And so if you've been aligning your energy with something outside of yourself or waiting on something outside of yourself, there's something out of integrity within you that must be examined. And it's not to be harsh on yourself. It's just so that you can come into contact with like, oh yeah, why have I been not wanting to come all the way into myself? What have I been avoiding? You know, that's stopping me from forming this beautiful identity, and like from attracting all that beauty into my life. And the bottom of the playing card deck is Two of Clubs, which is like the Two of Wands. It's just, you know, it's our expansion. It's the need for expansion at this time. And it's like letting go of the crutches, the mental thinking, the need for a conclusion or ending or concrete knowing. That's holding you back from your true flourishment, and they want you to flourish. So if I could leave you with one word from this reading, it is about flourishing. It's about washing away. You know, they're saying you planted the seeds, you have it sort of in place, the new life. But then we've had all this stuff come up. And some of you are at different phases with that. Some of you have really dealt with it and started to integrate. And others of you have not really gone deep enough. But either way, once we pull it up, we've got to sort of wash it away, take the awareness with us, wash away the residue, take the awareness with us, and then recognize where we've been in fear or attachment. Let that go. Understand that everything is in divine order, even if we don't have the conclusion in the 3D, or even if it seems like not congruent in the 3D, you've got to trust. And I feel like you're going to trust yourself more and more as you come into the formation of who you are, singing your unique song, getting into your creative projects more fully, building that next phase, building the next phase of who you are and who you want to become, exploring that, reconnecting with your passions, letting go of the old story, and then taking inspired action. That brings in the union, and it creates self-reliance within yourself so that you can come together as two whole individuals, okay? And anchor in these 5D timelines. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. I'm going to stop it right there. I love you all, and I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon, okay? Mwah. Bye.